Mother, man.
Hey, this is Jesse Incin. You're listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! We have the privilege to be doing this interview with Jesse Incin, vocalist with Incinerate. He also plays bass and sings with Septicemic. Thanks for taking the time out to talk to me and my co-host Chris Shawback of Murder Metal Mayhem. How is it going, Jesse?
Hey guys, yeah, it's going good. Thanks for having me so much. I appreciate it.
I apprecition you taking the time out of your schedule and everything to do this with us. So I've been jamming the fuck out of that new song, that's on YouTube and shit. And can you tell our listeners what the plan for the release of the new album is?
Yeah, right on. First, thank you for listening to it.
Dude, all the time, man.
Appreciate it. Man, so with the COVID shit, it's hard to say what the plans and stuff are, right?
Right.
It's unprecedented. We haven't had anything like this before. Like I said earlier, we were kind of chatting here before we started, and with the COVID stuff, normally you put out an album and then you go tour the fuck out of it and get it out to the masses. So right now we're kind of in limbo. The album officially drops October 9th on Comatose Music. We are taking some pre-orders on our Incinerate.com big cartel website, whatever.
Yeah, it's cool. You can order the different packages and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got a pretty stout merch package. We dropped a lot of money to buy all that shit. Hoodies and T-shirts and
flags. Chris, I broke down and bought a T-shirt. I'm addicted to T-shirts, Jesse, so I got one.
T-shirts.
But, yeah.
That's how we recoup the money.
Fucking right.
Exactly.
Fucking right.
No, I'm proud to support it, man.
We again, greatly appreciate it. I say that a lot because we do. We've been doing this for... Incinerate started in 1998, so
you guys are old school, man. You get it.
Yeah, lifelong passion for something,
Yeah.
I made a joke that my mom's waiting for me to grow out of this heavy metal phase.
That never happens.
Yeah, not quite. I mean, it might die down at certain phases of a person's life, but I think a metalhead is always a metalhead, and it definitely shines at certain times, So that's cool, man. You guys are doing that shit that long. I mean, who did the artwork for that? Because it is sick. Did you guys come up with a concept and then get somebody to do the cover, or was it just kind of like, here's some lyrics, come up with something and run with it?
No, that's pretty much exact. We had the concept for the album before any of the lyrics were done. It's a big story. So we gave John Zig did the art. I gave John one of the kind of a pre-production track and said, here's what it's going to sound like. I said, here's the concept behind the album, so we want something that kind of ties into everything. There's a bit of an Easter egg on there where we pay homage to one of our favorite albums.
Fucking cool.
And we just said, here you go, run with it. And so we want, kind of a landscape thing, and we want angels fighting demons in like a big war.
Yeah, it's badass,
definitely
man.
Sick ass artwork, man. Shit. Fucking A.
Yeah, I bet the shirts look killer and stuff too with that artwork on it.
Oh yeah.
I got all the mock-ups. That was one thing we went back and forth with the label, is that a lot of the early mock-ups didn't have the kind of purple-ish hue that we wanted.
Oh.
Spent a lot of time trying to get that nailed down, so hopefully the printer comes back and gets that exact same color concept that we want.
Right.
Just Graphics, I believe, is doing all the printing, and they have done a lot of stuff for us in the past. When we were on Brutal Bands, that's who Scott used exclusively, and Steve uses them as well. So I know they always knock it out of the park. So I'm pretty stoked. We haven't gotten the actual merch in yet, but I know it's going to rule. And just the art itself is so good.
Yeah,
yeah,
for
dude.
sure, dude.
Now, how have you guys been dealing with the with COVID on the music side of your life, like how's been? I know everything's been fucky, but how have you been dealing with it? Like as far as like recording and such.
So on the music side, it's tough. So on one hand, I live in Minnesota. Jared lives in California. Phil lives in Nevada. Sash and Ted are both Ontario, Canada.
Y'all are spread out all over the place. Damn.
Yeah. So as a whole, we are fully used to emailing tracks and emailing ideas and Skyping back and forth. So that aspect is, kind of all been the same.
Right.
So not too much of a hiccup there. But when we went to record, I was supposed to initially record in December. So all those guys had already done their stuff. Vocals go last. And I got bronchitis pneumonia in December.
Shit.
So that put me back for quite a while. And then when I finally started feeling good, the COVID shit hit.
God.
So then we were locked down and everything was shut down. So then the COVID stuff started to open up. The studio got opened up, and then in Minnesota here, not to touch on the political stuff, but we had some social unrest.
Right.
Yeah, you did for sure, man.
The building across the street from where I record was burned to the ground. Like,
oh my God.
Literally across the street, and it was like 3 blocks away or 2 blocks away from the police station that got burned to the ground. So that whole area, the studio shut back down. Everything was boarded up, so we had another delay because of that.
Jeez.
From December, I didn't get in till middle of June. So
that's a long time.
Yeah, so it delayed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it was out of our hands. Unfortunately, we initially wanted to have the studio stuff done and the CD out for mid-March, because in April we were supposed to tour Europe with the Abysmal Torment and a couple other bands. We had a booking agency and shit that was working on all that.
Oh, nice.
So COVID shut down that whole tour, delayed the CD.
Oh, man.
It's again, shit that's out of our control.
Right.
It sucks, but I'm so happy that the fucking CD's finally recorded.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're digging the song and that it's finally coming out,
Yeah. How many songs are on
it? 11 songs. So we have lyrics and stuff for 10. The last song is a bit of an outro that Jared did that's something we've never done before. And
cool. So that's great. I mean, all you can really do is try to adapt to it. And, fortunately for Chris and I doing our podcast, we've been able to just roll right through it because it's just me and him. And we have a third guy now that comes in and sits with us. And the other guy, we Skype him in. So, it's like we already were doing it that way anyway. So it's been kind of awesome. Just, do it and keep it going. But what's going on with Septicemic? Anything new to report?
Nothing good. Eric, our founding original member with me, drummer, he quit. He just gave up on playing drums altogether. He was getting burnt out. Wasn't fun. Wasn't happy anymore.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple of guys that are keen and doing the project. Unfortunately, we had a full album, written with Eric, and he had actually recorded drums to it. But I don't want to put an album out with the guy that's no longer in the band.
For sure.
Right. Especially drums. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna rewrite a bunch of stuff. There's a couple of tracks that I wrote already, so those are gonna stay. I wrote them start to finish.
Right.
And I think we're just gonna kind of edit and do some different stuff. So Eric had a real strong point with his the push-pull technique for his blasting. So we played off that quite a bit. So that's the other thing is, he had a certain technique, a certain style, and a lot of the songs were kind of written around that.
Right.
Now with somebody else, we need to learn their style and write to accompany that.
Like Pete said, adapt to whatever happens and try and run with it.
Yeah.
Adapt change, overcome, whatever the Clint Eastwood Heartbreak Ridge.
Right. Now, can you tell us like who your biggest influences are that got you wanting to start singing death metal vocals and shit? Like, who's your biggest influence?
Oh shit! So, in high school, I was in basically a Metallica cover band. So, Anthrax, Slayer, Metallica, Overkill, Testament. I mean, that's
hell yeah.
That was my earliest influences, and then I realized I couldn't sing the best, so it was easier to growl. So we started incorporating PSI. So those guys, and then when we started Incinerate, that was kind of who it was modeled after, and then it just went from there. I remember hearing, the Devourment, Blessing the Decapitated, that Yattering album, and Disgorge, the first Disgorge, and just going, holy fuck! Like I want, the early Chris Barnes stuff. Huge. So that's my age bracket. So those guys have all been the Matty Way, the AJ. The early Chris Barnes stuff, not the newer stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Now bringing up the Chris Barnes subject, Jesse, little debate between Chris and I, okay? Now, Chris and I we're not like fighting over this, but it's been just funny. It comes up all the time.
Because I'm more Chris Barnes era Cannibal Corpse, and Pete's more George Fisher era Cannibal Corpse.
I like Corpsegrinder a little bit more. I like Barnes. I just like Corpsegrinder a little bit more. You brought up Barnes, so are you on the Barnes side of that argument, or stance, I should say?
I am going to 100% stick with my Barnes stance.
All right, it's all good, No, I love them both. They're different, but I just really, I don't know what it is with me with Corpsegrinder. I just love the way he does what he does. I sang heavy, not quite like that, but more thrash, but little thrash with touches of death. So I could appreciate the guys that can sing like you, like he can do that and do it all the time. Whereas I was more, in a little bit of a different style, and I totally appreciate it. And your vocals are freaking crushing, man. It's holy shit, badass.
Thank you. Here's what I'm going to say. I think when we were young, or when you're young and you're first getting into a band, or you hear something, and that initial thing just fucking blows you away, and the hair stand on the back of your neck, and you're like, oh my god, this is it.
Right.
So once you get into that, it is hard to segue to something else. I don't want to say, I first heard Corpsegrinder and Monstrosity, and I love the old Monstrosity stuff. So when he went to Cannibal Corpse, it was a different band for me.
Yeah.
The thing that I heard and fell in love with was that fucking vocal style that Barnes was doing. So that's why I think it's always going to have a special place in my heart. And I'm not taking anything away from Corpsegrinder.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not.
We both love them both. Yeah, it's just funny because it comes up, and I heard you say that. It made me and him smile, so I thought I'd ask you. So
you got your different camps.
Yeah, for sure. Now, before all the COVID stuff, what was the metal scene like up there in Minneapolis, St. Paul, where you guys are located?
So we, there's only a couple of like really brutal bands, but I think that the scene was actually really good. We were jamming, everybody was getting along. There was a lot of unity.
Good. That's always good.
Bands, Gorgatrons from North Dakota. We pretty much just adopted them as being part of our scene because they come down here and play so much. Nebraska, South Dakota, the Carnographer guys.
Dude, Carnographer's so badass.
You were
just seen them
talking
at Slam
them.
Dakota a month or so ago.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Those guys are all fucking rad, and have come down here and jammed, and we've gone up there and played with them. So I mean, all that stuff was great. Beauty Decay is another local band. Glutton for Punishment, which is a band I filled in on bass for once. I might actually just join the band here now because Rob is in Septicemic with me, and that's his baby. And
okay, cool.
We're BFFs, so there's some incestuous shit going on there. So I mean, there was a lot of that with the this COVID thing, and with the social unrest stuff we got going on. People just got too much time on their hands to sit in Facebook and jump on shit and attack everybody.
For sure, dude. For sure.
That definitely separated a lot of the the viewpoints and there's been a lot of raised tensions and shit. So
yeah, I mean, I'm originally from the East Coast. I moved out here to the Midwest in '90, and the different scenes, it's always interested me. And when I did the heavycore stuff, I was dealing with bands from all over the world, but mostly U.S., and there are different pockets where metal was hot. And that changes, you know, as things change. And I can't imagine how much things will change now. After all this is said and done, you know, what is it going to do to that? You know, I fear that it's going to, you know, cripple it, you know, but I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm wrong, but I just have a real fear of that, and hopefully it bounces back and everybody can get back to, you know, doing their thing, you know.
Hell yeah.
My stance is I try to stay as far away from any political thing that's going on as possible.
Yep.
Everybody's got their own viewpoint.
Right.
A lot of shit I don't fucking agree with, but I'm just gonna work on my music and say, here's more music.
Go. Definitely. There you go.
And speaking of working on your music, are you guys planning on doing a music video for any of the new songs at all? Because I bet you guys got a great idea for music videos.
Yeah, I bet that would be sick.
Yep, so we're supposed to play in Vegas here, the Sin City Slaughterfest, I think it's called now. From Mike, that used to do the LVDF.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to play that in October here. Right now, the Canadian border is closed off, so Sasha and Ted can't even get into the United States.
Yeah,
that's supposed to reevaluate that on September 21st, which is right before.
Yeah.
So, as of right now, we are all planning on playing this festival. Everybody's practicing the set, doing all that, right? We are going to fly out to Las Vegas. Me, Jared, and Phil are getting together without fail to record some stuff for a music video right before that festival in October. So
awesome.
Nice.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, we've never done a video before, so it's either going to, have full band shots or
like a lyric type video or something.
Yeah, we got a cool idea, and it's definitely happening.
Oh, cool.
Cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Now, aside from Murder Metal Mayhem, are there any other podcasts that you like to listen to? I just said that. I'm not sure that you're a Murder Metal Mayhem listener, but what kind of podcast do you dig? Metal, true crime, serial killer stuff? What do you like?
I do listen to a lot of the True Crime Garage. I got sucked into that for
I listen to that. That's a good one.
It's pretty killer for like road trips to just plug in and listen to that. And, serial killer. I don't want to say fan. But,
That's kind of hard to explain to people. I'm not a fan
that's exactly
per se,
how we are. We always preface what we say about those guys is, this guy's an awful piece of shit, but his story is crazy. Check this out, and we talk about that all the time. The murderabilia
knocking on my door because I said something.
Right, definitely.
So I listen to that a lot. There's a local guy here, my good friend Greg Chilton. He does Ritual Madness podcast. I've been on there a couple of times.
Oh, cool.
He gets a lot of people from the local scene. He's an awesome guy.
Wow,
trying
I'll
to
have to check that one out.
Yeah, so there's a lot of local bands that get played on there, and then everybody brings in their own stuff. But
that's great.
He'll cover stuff on like drones or kayaking or
so
cool. It's metal and then every other interest. So that's my other go-to.
Definitely have to check that out.
That's very cool.
Fucking A. Now, are there any up-and-coming death metal bands out there that you're hearing about that our listeners might want to check out that you're into?
Well, we talked about the Carnographer guys.
Right.
I mean, they got a couple of good projects coming out and that they work on. That Beauty Decay is a local band that I like. Glutton for Punishment. So that is a kind of old schoolish feel. Rob's a big thrash fan, but yet, Eric, they were doing like close to 300 beats a minute, like just crazy shit. So
Jesus.
Glutton for Punishment is definitely one I would check out and that I listen to a lot.
Awesome.
And Septicemic.
Definitely Septicemic.
Oh, yeah.
Plug.
Now, how can our listeners order the new album and any of the band merch that you guys got? I know you mentioned that earlier, but give our listeners a final kind of plug of where they can get a hold of your stuff.
Yeah, our URL, excuse me, is the www.incinerate.bigcartel.com. That goes right to the band.
Awesome.
So we appreciate that. Obviously, we want to support Comatose. You can get all the same packages direct from the label as well.
Hell yeah.
Steve has been awesome. He runs the label. He's just been a great guy, good friend.
He's amazing, man. I've known that dude, well, going back 20 years,
right?
Man. Crazy. Yeah, I've known him for a long time. He's straight up a good dude.
Yeah, they started their labels together. We played some of our first shows with Lust to Decay and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, those guys are so sick, too. Fucking right. Well, Jesse, we appreciate you doing this interview with Murder Metal Mayhem. Good luck with Incinerate and Septicemic, and keep the horns high and keep on fucking rocking, dude. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, too.
You bet. You bet.
Anytime.
Thanks, Jesse. Take it easy, man.
Right on. Cheers.
Later.
Mother, man.